right, today we're going to think about setting goals. All right, and so a goal is when you have something you want to get done, and then you've got to think about what you do to got to get there. Right. So I was in a classroom one day this week, and just for you to have a little taste of what school is looking like in the building, because I know some of you are thinking about coming back in the building. Your families are in the new year. So today or this week I was in someone's classroom and they were getting ready for lunch. All right, so let's say that's the goal. That's what you want to do, have lunch, right? So here's how that class prepared to get lunch. This year, there are students that eat from the cafeteria, but we don't go to the cafeteria. The lunch comes to you. So you pick it up in the commons area of the building. And so those people were dismissed from the classroom. That was step one, to get hand sanitizer to clean their hands, and then to go down the hall, get their lunch choice, and to come back into the room. The second thing that happened to get ready for the goal of achieving lunchtime was that two of the tables in the classroom were dismissed to get some hand sanitizer and then to get their lunch boxes out of their book bags, right? And then bring that back to their desk. And all the desks this year, guys, have plexiglass, little kind. You have like a little cubby on your desk that you eat in that little space whenever it's lunchtime. All right. Then the third thing that happened once those people had been back to their seats, then the third thing that happened was that the other two tables in the classroom with students were dismissed for hand sanitizer to get their lunch boxes, and then it was time to eat. So the goal was to eat lunch. And then how they ate lunch was they dismissed in small groups and they cleaned hands and then they got their lunches from where lunches were. And then everybody was back together and then everybody could eat lunch. So that's what a goal is. Now, a goal can be anything. It could be something like schoolwork, like last year, you guys at Pleasant Hill had some of you who are students here had the opportunity for the 100 book club, right? And so during the course of the year, you documented, wrote down the books that you read. And if you read 100 books, then you got a T-shirt, and there was a virtual celebration at the end of last school year, right? So that's the goal: read 100 books in a school year, and then you read books and read books and read books and read more books and read books, and some people read to you, and sometimes you read to people, and then you got 100 books read during the school year. It can be a physical goal, like in the good book Koala Lou. So let's read that. And we're going to think about as we work that achieving a goal is a lot like climbing a ladder, right? So this is a ladder that shows you the goal goes to the top. And then you put on the rungs of the ladder, the different bars of the ladder, the different steps that you need to take to get to the goal. All right. So let's check out a physical goal. Because, like I say, you can have all kinds of goals. You can have a goal to get to school on time. You can have teachers and school counselors and people that work in the school are asked to achieve goals during the year as a part of their evaluation and accountability process. So, goal setting is a real skill we want to make sure you are well acquainted with so that you can begin to start setting your own personal goals and achieving your own goals as you work into third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and on into being a grown up. All right, Koala Lou by Mem Fox. Oh, it's one of my favorites. I love me some Mem Fox. This story takes place in Australia. Australia is the land down under. It's a continent that's in the southern part of the hemisphere, and there's a lot of crazy kind of animals down there because I think it's like a floating ark. It's been a place that's developed and evolved single-handedly, not really attached to other land bodies. So lots of neat animals like the koala live there. There once was a baby koala so soft and round that all who loved knew her or loved her. Her name was Koala Lou. The emu loved her. That's one of those weird animals. It's a great big old bird, a lot like an ostrich, the second largest bird in the world, actually. The emu loved her. The platypus loved her. Oh my goodness. Now, is that a crazy animal? It's got the bill of a duck and the body of a beaver. It's tail of a beaver, fur, lays eggs, and has mammals hatched out of eggs. And I learned this week that it's also phosphorescent. How about that? Those of you who like facts about animals, it means that it glows whenever they put it under a black light. The platypus actually glows. All right, so we got the platypus that loves her, and even little tough little koala claws who live next door loved her. But it was her mother who loved her the most. Most of all, 100 times a day she would laugh and shake her head, and she would say, "Koala Lou, I do love you." And I know I can't hear you because you're muted, but everybody try that with me. Koala Lou, I do love you. Yeah, you're right, Jameson. I like the way you can use X and O's to express I love you too. Whenever she stretched in the early morning sun, or climbed a gum tree, here she is stretching. I love that morning's. Doesn't that look like a good morning? Wake it up. Whenever she stretched in the morning sun or climbed a gum tree or bravely went down the path, all by herself, her mother would smile and say, "Koala Lou, I do love you." The years passed and other koalas were born, brothers and sisters for Koala Lou. And soon her mother was so busy she didn't have time to tell Koala Lou that she loved her. Although, of course, she did. Every night, as she curled up under the stars, Koala Lou thought about the times when her mother had looked at her and said, "Koala Lou, I do love you." And she longed for her to say it again. Uh, One night, Kuala Lumpur had a splendid idea. Preparations had begun for the Bush Olympics. She would enter the Olympics and she would compete in the gum tree climbing event. And she would win, and her mother would fling her arms around her neck and she would say, "Kuala Lumpur, I do love you." All right, so let's pause the story right there and let's go back to our organizer, our way of looking at a goal. Let's look at the ladder and let's think of what we want to put at the top of the ladder. All right, let me see if I can look at some peeps and see who might could tell me what is the goal. What is Koala Lou's goal? Let's see. All right, looking for some peeps here that might raise their hand and tell me what does Kalaloo want to achieve. All right, I'm looking for somebody that hasn't had a chance to share today yet. All right, Mila, tell me something you could think of that goes at the top.
She wants to join the Olympics.
All right.
So her mom, so her mom will say,
Kawalaloo, I do
I
love you.
love you.
There you go. Thank you, Mila. That's exactly what we want to put at the top. Now, that's the goal. She wants to hear her mom say, "Koala Lou, I do love you." Now, the Bush Olympics that Mila said she joins, that's a rung on the ladder. All right, that's something she's going to do so she can get to the goal of hearing her mama say, "Koala Lou, I do love you."
Love you.
There you go. All right. So what we're gonna do is gonna read a little bit more and listen for some ideas that you can think of that she also uses to get to the goal. Okay. What are the things that we're gonna put on the rungs when we think about the getting the steps to getting to a goal? All right, so here she goes. Koala Lou began her training right away. She jogged and puffed and lifted weights and panted. She hung from a branch with one claw at a time till she ached, and she did push ups till her stomach hurt. And last of all, she climbed the tallest tree that she could find over and over and over again. Oh man, I love those tennis shoes. Don't you love those tennis shoes? Those are great for Veterans Day. They're nice and red. All right. Sometimes her mother would watch her and ask, "How's it going, Blossom?" "Fine, just fine," Koala Lee would say. At last, the day of the Bush Olympics arrived. Koala Claus had also entered the gum tree climbing event, and everyone knew how fast she was. But Koala Lou wasn't scared. She saw her mother in the crowd and imagined her saying again, "Koala Lou, I do love you." And it filled her heart with hope. It was Koala Claus who went first. Her climb was a record breaking 22 meters and 70 seconds flat. The spectators whistled and cheered, "Woo!" and wildly waved their party hats. Woo! Can I do better than that? Wondered Koalaloo. I must. So she stepped towards the tree, and hush fell over the crowd. On your mark, get set, said the kookaburra. Go! And Koala Lou leapt to the tree. She up and up and up. She climbed higher and higher and higher, faster and faster and faster, until she was right at the very top. The spectators roared and they clapped and they stomped their feet. Woo! But she wasn't fast enough. In spite of all her training and all her hoping, it was Koala Claus who won the gum tree climbing. Koala Lou came in last. Koala Lou went off and hid. She heard the shouts of the Bush Olympics, and she cried her heart out. When the first stars of the evening appeared in the sky, Koala Lou crept home through the dark and up into the gum tree. Her mother was waiting for her, and before Koala Lou could say a word, her mother flung her arms around her neck and said, Koala Lou, I do love you. I always have, and I always will. And she hugged her for a very long time. Oh, yay! It wasn't exactly how you thought it may end, I bet. It wasn't how I thought it would end. But let's think about if Koala Lou got to her goal. All right, so I'm looking for your nods or your head shakes. What do you think? Did she get to her goal? Did she hear her mama say, Koala Lou, I do love you? That was her goal. What are you thinking out there, second grade world? I see Lauren's head is going up and down, and Carter's head is going up and down. Mia's going up and down. Leah's going up and down. Ethan, you changed your mind? Yeah? You think maybe she did? I think this one's tricky because I think I saw some heads going about, no, 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 at the beginning because she didn't win, right? She didn't win. But if her goal was to hear her mom say, Koala Lou, I do love you, then she did get there, right? She did get to the top of the ladder, but she didn't climb the ladder exactly the way she planned to climb the ladder. Now, raise your hand if you can tell me a way that she did prepare to hear her mama say, Koala Lou, I do love you. Mila said she joined the Bush Olympics. We know that's one rung of the ladder. Can anybody think of something else she did to prepare so she could hear her mama say, Koala Lou, I do love you? Let me look for some hands. Oh, I see Lauren's hand up. All right, Lauren, go for it.
So, she thought if she really, if she wanted, their, her mom, his mom be, would say, yeah, Koala Lou, I do love you. But she still said it, even though she didn't win.
You're exactly right. Look at this page, Lauren, and tell me some things that she did to get ready to achieve her goal. What were some things on that page?
He was trying to work out.
Yeah.
So he could get fit and try to climb trees for practice.
Yeah, so those are things that you could put on the rungs of the ladder. You've got like hanging from the tree, climbing the trees, lifting weights, running, all the things that Koala Lou did to get stronger. Those were things that Koala Lou did, all right, to get on this ladder and to get to the goal. Okay. All right. So let's work a school goal. Let's say your job is to get to school on time. I know this is not exactly what's happening for you in virtual world, but you can turn it around and we could do it twice and you could tell me what you have to do to be on time for your Zoom meetings, okay? But if I were to take this, and I'll send Mrs. Sweatman one of these, and Miss Potts, who teaches the students from our school that are out at Pillion, because this is a great way to organize your plan. Like Koala Lou put her at the top of her ladder. she put the idea that she wanted to hear her mama say, Koalalu, I do love you. And then she did enter the Bush Olympics. She exercised and ran and jogged and lifted weights and climbed trees and hung from tree branches. And all of this was what her game plan was to get to her goal. Now, the game plan didn't quite get her there, but she did get to her goal in the story. And that's what it's all about. Your plan, you may have to be flexible with your plan, just how we've had to be flexible about how to go to school this fall. And so we always are flexible with our plan, but this is a way to help ourselves be organized and to make sure we do set goals. Because if you don't set goals, then it's impossible to achieve goals or to get to the finish line if you never put one out there in front of you. Okay, so let's put on our graphic organizer, my school's goal is to get to school on time. Now, it may be that you are setting a school goal to be more fluent with your math facts, and so you might want to put that at the top. You may have a goal to run a 5K that you physically want to do. Those of you in Run Hard and Girls on the Run or have done those types of activities in the past, use all kinds of goals that you can set, right? So, what if it was to get to school on time? Well, one thing you could do is you could go to bed early, right? So school starts early in the morning. So if you go to bed early, one step you can do to get yourself to school on time is to get a good night's rest, right? Another thing you could do is you could lay out your clothes, like your outfit of the day, whatever it is. Like Miss Broam picked out her hat, and I picked out my shirt special for Veterans Day today. And I had all that done ahead of time, so I didn't have to scramble this morning and think about what should I wear today, right? And now, when you come to school, you also have to make a plan for what mask you're going to wear too. How about that? So I had that. School provided these for the folks in the building. So neat, neat, neat. All right. So that was a special thing for today. How about my backpack? I could have my backpack by the door, packed and ready to go. Backpack packed by the door. And so all I have to do is pick it up. The days when I stop and have to pack my bags to get to school, it slows me down, right? And then last of all, what about uh, what about, let's see, my backpack's packed. Oh, should homework be done or not done? What are you thinking with your thumbs? Show me with your thumbs. Homework should be done. There you go, Nuri. Thank you for that thought. Yes, Caden, I agree. Homework should be accomplished because my backpack is done. If my backpack is packed, it should have my homework completed in it, right? And I put a HW for homework. Now, so this is the idea we're thinking about today. You set the goal at the top, and then you work on how to get to the goal. And then, like tortoise in the hare, it may, excuse me, like koala Lou, it may or may not happen the way you planned, but you are working towards achieving the goal, and you're making your steps of your game plan of how to do it. Okay. So tell me what you have to do to be on a Zoom on time. My school goal is to attend Zoom meeting on time. So give me a shout how we would work this virtually. How does it work for you guys in the virtual world? Because maybe you don't have to necessarily have clothes laid out. Maybe you're just here in your PJs. I don't know. What do we have to do for you to be on time? Sometimes I see you eating breakfast while you do your virtual meeting. And so that's something you don't have to do ahead of time. All right, Carter's got an idea. All right, Carter. Thanks for sharing. What do you do to get ready for be at the Zoom meeting on time?
I eat breakfast and I eat breakfast.
So ahead of time, she likes to do that ahead of time. And that's good because then you don't have your mouth is not chewing and swallowing. Your mouth is ready to do like usual. We're able to share. And thank you for that. That's one thing that that happens at Carter's house before the Zoom time. All right, what else can you think of that you might need to do to be ready in the virtual world to get to school on time? I'm looking for your hand. Oh, is that Eva? Eva, did you have a thought? No, okay, she shook her head no. Anybody got an idea? Tell me about your computer. Oh, Leah's got an idea. All right, Leah, what you thinking?
To eat before your Zoom starts.
What do you do before your Zoom starts? Oh, say it again. Say it one more time. Oh, I can't hear you, Leah. I hear you talking. I know you're unmuted. I mean, I see your lips moving, but I still can't hear your words. Oh, there you go. Take out those. Let's try those. Maybe those AirPods died. There they get. Can anybody read her lips? What's she saying?
Brush your teeth.
Oh, thank you, Leah. I got that. Yay. Brush your teeth. So eat your breakfast, brush your teeth, and then you're ready to smile on the Zooms. And then whenever you get really close with your mouth because you're trying to talk, right, you've got clean teeth. Thank you, Leah. That was excellent. And thank you for being patient and staying with it till Miss Brown finally could hear what you were saying. Jameson, do you have an idea? What else could we do to be ready? Okay, I'm gonna unmute you. Tell us about what you're doing.
Brush your hair.
Brush your hair. Well, you want to look good on the Zooms. You need to take care of all that grooming. Brush your hair. And you know what, Jared? I was just thinking, what about go to the bathroom? Would that be good? All right, so those are some things you could do. And you could also have your computer up and ready to go, maybe 15 minutes or so before a Zoom call. You can have, you can try to log in, a little bit ahead of time and not right at, because we always, like Mrs. Sweatman had to reboot today. And so giving yourself a little lead time is a good idea. And if we had more rungs on this ladder, we could add those ideas. All right, does everybody see the plan? Okay, all right, so let's look at one more story about achieving a goal. And this one is another physical goal. But again, goals come in all flavors, shapes, and sizes. I have a goal that I'm working on currently. It's going to take me 2 years to get her done. And that's that I want to learn how to use yoga as therapy. It's been I've really, somebody introduced yoga here at school. Probably 14 years ago now. And I then got so excited about how relaxed I felt and how calm I felt and how strong I felt that I wanted to teach other people about yoga. I wanted to teach children especially. And so I learned how to be a yoga teacher. And then I learned how to be a children's yoga teacher. I got those certifications. And now I want to learn how you can use yoga to help specific things that are not working in your body, or if you are diagnosed like with attention deficit disorder or some other type of diagnosis or condition, what can you do in yoga that can help you do life in a better way, right? And so that's called yoga therapy. And I'm going back to school. I'm actually going to college to learn how to do that. And it's a 2-year program. There's 6 trimesters, and I'm just about to finish one trimester. Yay! Next week I'll be completed that, and then I will have 5 trimesters to go. And so it'll take 2 years, but that's the goal. I have the goal to learn to be the yoga therapist, and then I have the different steps along the way of how to get there. All right. So different assignments and different readings and different things I have to do to learn to do it. And I'm excited because I'm getting there a little bit, along and along. All right, so let's look at the tortoise and the hare and be thinking of the steps that get us there. All right, great illustrations in this version of this good story by Janet Stevens, and then think about the goal and then the steps that are getting us there with this story. Once upon a time, there was a tortoise and a hare. Tortoise was friendly and quiet. He did everything slowly. Hare was flashy and rude. He did everything quickly. All right, Hare liked to tease Tortoise about being so slow. When Tortoise ate breakfast, Hare would say, "By the time you finish that last bite, it's going to be dinner time." When Tortoise worked in his garden, Hare would say, "By the time you pick those spring flowers, it's going to be winter." And one afternoon, Hare followed Tortoise to the store, and Hare teased him on the way. "By the time you get there, the storeroom will be closed," he said. "You so slow, I could beat you at a race, hopping backwards on one paw." "But I could never beat you, Hare," said Tortoise. "Yes, you could," said Tortoise's friends. "All you need is a little help." "Then you will race me, Tortoise?" asked Hare. Tortoise pulled his head into his shell. I don't want to," he said. "You got to," said his friends. "You put up with that nasty Hare long enough. We think you can win." Tortoise didn't want to disappoint his friends, so he finally agreed to race Hare. Check out the shoes in this story. I just love it. Look at those great sandals. Tortoise only had 2.5 weeks to get in shape before the big race. Rooster helped him out at the gym, and Raccoon cooked him healthy meals. Frog went jogging with him every morning, and by the day of the race, Tortoise was ready. Bum, bum, bum. Here we go. Animals all over the country came to watch the tortoise and the hare. Rooster read aloud the rules and described the course. Attention, everyone. The race will begin when I sound the gong. The 6 mile course was marked by red flags, and the first one to reach the finish line would win the game or win the race. Runners, take your marks, get set, and go, shouted Raccoon, and he sounded the gong. Woo! Off they go. Now, Hare bolted out of sight before Tortoise had taken his first step. The crowd roared and cheered, woo, as Tortoise inched forward. Hare was so far ahead that he decided to stop at Bear's house for something cool to drink. Now, it's hard to see on the zooms, or maybe sometimes it's better, but you can see there's Tortoise way back there, and you can follow the track and see how far ahead Hare is, and that's why he's going to stop and get a drink. Hare rested and sipped lemonade. Bear noticed something moving outside his window. Hare, he said, there goes Tortoise. What? Yelled Hare, running out the door. Hare passed Tortoise for the second time, and then he decided to stop at Mouse's house for a snack. All right, let's see if we can find the little dot that is Tortoise in this picture. Oh, yeah, he's way back there. There's lots of track and red flags in between the two participants. As Hare munched on crackers and cheese, Mouse yelled, "Is that Tortoise I see out the window?" "I'm not worried about that old slowpoke," said Hare. "I've passed him twice already." And then he finished his snack and he hopped out the door. Hare passed Tortoise for the third time, and now he was far ahead. He saw a pond and decided to stop and rest. The snacks had made him sleepy. All right, this time, I don't know if you can see him. Can you see him? Way back there. Yeah, oh, I see a thumbs up. Thank you, Rosie. Hare was so sure that he would win, he took a nap in the green grass, and he closed his eyes. And as he dreamed of victory, he's snoozing in the soft grass. And then suddenly Hare woke up because the crowd was cheering. "Yay, Tortoise!" The crowd roared. Tortoise was 2 steps away from the finish line. "Slow down, you bow-legged reptile!" screamed Hare as he tried to catch up. But it was too late. Tortoise had crossed the line just as before the tornado of dust and fur that was Hare flew by. Tortoise had won the race. Hare couldn't believe it. That measly shell on legs had beaten him. And Tortoise smiled as his friends carried him on their shoulders. He had learned an important lesson. Hard work and perseverance brings reward. All right, sometimes we hear the moral of this story, the moral of this fable, as slow and steady wins the race. All right, so if we go back to our idea of putting things on a ladder and thinking about how the ladder is a great way to organize your steps to getting and achieving a goal, getting to a goal. All right, who could raise their hand and tell me what is the goal in the story about Tortoise and the hare? What you thinking? All right, let me try to get somebody who hasn't had a chance to speak today. Rosie, what you thinking the goal is?
The goal is that one of them want to win.
All right.
That's the goal.
All right, so win the race. All right, and let's say the school that is Tortoise's goal, right? Tortoise is trying to win the race. All right,
Yeah.
Thank you, Rosie. All right, so what is something that happened? What does Tortoise do? Oh gosh, we got lots of people with hands up. Chloe, is your hand up to tell me about a way to get to the goal?
Actually, it was up earlier and she forgot to undo it.
That's all right. All right, Chloe, look at this picture. It's all good. I know it's so hard to be patient like that. Look at this picture, Chloe, while I got you unmuted. All right, are you still unmuted? All right, look at this picture and tell me, what did Tortoise do to prepare or to get himself ready to win? Can you see something on there?
He was lifting weights, but turtles are slow. But he was trying to get lots of weight.
Yes, because strength training is one thing you can do to make muscles strong, right? So lifting weights. We'll add that to a rung on the ladder. Okay? All right. And then I see, let's see, somebody who hasn't had a chance to speak today that has another idea. Caden, tell us what you're thinking.
So I'm thinking, cause the hair, all of those food it had made him tired. So and then he had fell asleep. So that's how the turtle won.
I think that's a good plan. But going back to food, Raccoon picked really healthy meals, right? Or you got it, Miss. Thank you, Miss Whitman. So one of the ways that Tortoise prepared was that he did eat healthy meals before the race, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank
But
you. Yes, but not during the race. During the race would slow you down, right? Yeah. Anything else y'all think of that Tortoise did to prepare? He lifted weights. He ate healthy foods. How else did he get ready to go fast? What do you think? Give me a physical way. Oh, there's Leah. Leah, what are you thinking?
Rabbit was trying to get the finish line, but he passed 3 times.
Yes, he did. All right, we know that I think it was Chloe that says turtles are going to go slow, but he is trying to pick up the speed here. How is he trying to get faster?
He's trying walk really fast.
Yeah, and he's training with Frog, isn't he? Yeah, so he goes jogging with Frog. All right, jogging with Frog. So do you get the idea of the ladder? I just love the way that helps me kind of think this through. Whatever your goal is, you put it at the top, and then the things that you do that you're going to do to get to there. Like I want to learn how to do my math facts like really quickly, my math fluency. I want to increase my speed. So maybe I put down I'm going to work with flashcards. Maybe I put down I'm going to do practice tests. Maybe I put down that I'm going to have mom and dad call them out to me so that I can get them faster and faster. So you, whatever your goal, put it at the top, and then you're going to go up the ladder to get to the goal by taking those steps. Okay. All right. I'm going to turn off the recording and then we can get